Welcome to a pretty murky day in Empyrion Galactic Survival, and what I want to do in this part, after our digression into the Alpha 8.5 update in the last part, I want to get back on mission and I want to start on my main base, and this is going to be the main base for this series. And off camera I've done a little bit of wandering around to find this location, and just to orientate you, we've effectively found this bluff overlooking a lake with a nice mountainside, because what I want to do is build a base that's half in the mountain and half kind of out, maybe going down to the lake. So we're going to have a platform, because one thing I do want to explore in this let's get out of here because obviously this is fluctuating a little bit. One thing I do want to actually explore in going forward is the ability to repair capital vessels on base. I think Snafu passed a comment on the last video saying that it's time to get on and start looking at this. And the reason the capital vessels down here is this is going to provide the defences during the construction stage, so that I don't have to rush into building base defences. Eventually the base defences will be up here as well, so that I can use my capital vessel. But I think the capital vessel's got more than enough guns mounted on it to deal with anything that comes on. And on that vein, guys, I want to show you something that was introduced in the 8.5 update. If we come to devices, if I can find the actual, where is it? There should be a, there it is. There's a group here called defenses. What you can actually do now is set your weapons attributes at a group level and then apply it to the whole group. So you can actually set them individually like this if you wanted to, but you can actually set them as a group. In addition, the way weapons can be configured now has been reorganized, so it's a bit more logical in its layout, because obviously you can select one of these, you can attack player there, so you set them all, set one, and then you have one in this group, one in this group, and then you can add additional information down here, and then you can just click it and apply it to the whole group, which is what I've already done. I think that is a really nice, cool feature. And what we're going to do now is just going to get into here, and I'm just going to turn our thrusters back on. Here I have chosen roughly here, it's getting a bit dark as well. We're running out of daylight, so we may have to sleep. See the white flash coming up the side of the mountain there. What I want here is to be low enough so I can actually build a platform. And what I'm thinking is having a ship platform here with a little bit going into the side of the mountain, probably here. And then what I'll have is deep in the mountainside is actually my core resources, and then out front we'll have a landing pad for the capital vessel, also other features which we will build in over time. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to start this off almost straight away, guys. Kind of and what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to use the flattening option, and what I want to do is come in here and get a level. And the easiest way to actually do this is to let the actual game decide the level. So you can see it's just coming in here, and what I want to do is create a platform here. I mean, this isn't going to be the final surface. Eventually we will block it all over, and once I've actually got the level here, and you can see how quickly this will actually make a level. It's got obviously a bit of a front there. Next thing I want to do is come back up and whoops, no. And you can see here that it's still not exactly lined up if I show the block there, because you don't get a lot of options. I think we can live with that, guys. And what I want to do is go back far enough so that we've actually got a kind of cliff front. That one, this will form the level of the basis of my ship landing pad, which will come forward. And what I also want to do is actually cut this back far enough so that I've got the potential to have a ship hangar deck built underneath, but I'm not going to be too fussy about it, guys. So what I'm going to do is just keep excavating back here. I mean, I'm not going to go too wide at the moment. Now the downside of using this tool is you don't get any crushed rock from it, because it is literally a leveling tool. I'm just going to keep hacking out here. And I think what I'm going to do, guys, now is I'm going to excavate this platform to the depth that it suits me, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. What I've done is I've now excavated this frontage, and you can see I've got a little bit of an overhang which would actually form the basis of a hangar. It's got a couple of little bits hanging in the air here. Let's get rid of that. Oops. And what I want to do now is, it's obviously got night, but what we're going to do is just bring the ship in and park it. And what I will probably do is sleep through the night. I think it'd be the best way around this. And what we're going to do is just turn off the thrusters. Just gonna, I think I might need the tent. I can't remember if I've picked the tent up, so just go a quick. Nope, we haven't picked the tent up. So I mean, I've picked up a lot of other resources that I do need, and so we're just going to jump out, guys, and just going to deploy the tent. We're perfectly safe up here. Should be no problems whatsoever. Just going to sleep through the night, but of course we're going to consume resources and food. I think the tent can just go up there. We may need it again. This is definitely a long-term project. It's not something that I'm going to do in one part, probably even 2 parts. In fact, it will probably be a project that will be constantly added to as we go forward in this series, until such time as there's a reason to move on to something new. I think we can just eat some steak. So I've now got this area here, and what I want to do now is go straight back with some kind of tunnel. And I think what we're going to do is just stand here and come here. Obviously we don't want anyone sneaking up. Now it's quite interesting in the sense that that is shifted completely in orientation. Is that, see that? I suppose in some ways I've probably skewed it a little bit. So I need to go in at a little bit of an angle. Let's just have a check. Yeah, we got plenty of rock on that side. So I want to kind of go in a little bit in an angle. So I think if we go in like this, so I want the base tunnels to be relatively, I mean, they don't have to be perfect, guys, but I do want it to be reasonably orientated, because we can always adjust the front in an appropriate manner. So what we're just going to do is just knock this back here. I mean, obviously it's quite difficult to actually get an orientation. Okay, I think we're in the right direction actually. Let's just, if we just blast through like that. Using this will also give us some extra crushed rock. In fact, that reminds me. Let me just do this, and then I mean, we could probably just come in. How's that? Just have a quick look. Yeah, I think that will work. I think if we do that, I mean, we're obviously not going to remain completely true, but that's part of the fun of the game. Right, what I want to do is just drop this in here, and we're just going to put the portable constructor out, because while we're actually doing this, I can actually make some concrete blocks. I'm going to need the concrete blocks. I mean, I've got 300 hardened steel block here, but I don't really want to use these for the initial internal construction. Let's just check the orientation again. Yep, I think that would be fine. And what I'm going to do now is we're just going to go back with a tunnel, which would be like effectively our access tunnel. So what I'm going to do is just cut this out. Actually, let's just, I think it'd be better sometimes just to hack back like this, straight away, and then actually bring, if I keep the drill high, because this will be a fully lined base, you know, with rocks and there. In fact, we could probably try out the new plastic blocks inside, because they could be quite useful, and if they're buried beneath tons and tons of rock, they should have plenty of protection. I mean, at the moment we're quite safe because the drones don't really wake up until you actually power your base up, and then the drone attacks will start. But hopefully the camper van up there will do the necessary business. And I'm just gonna maybe just widen this a little bit. I mean, I'll probably need to make it slightly oversized so that I can line it up as, but at the same time I just don't want to spend too much time actually building it. So yeah, I think that's, just nick that back a bit. I think that's coming together quite nicely. So if we just keep knocking this back on this side. Right, let's just get back to here. Just keep kind of cutting out this area above. And just keep cutting this out. Right guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to excavate this tunnel to the depth that I want, because I really want my core, my power capability and my fuel tanks, oxygen tanks buried deep in this mountain. So I will keep doing this until I get the depth that I want, and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, welcome back. Now another quick tip guys is that you can actually use the portable constructor as a reference. So you can see I've actually lined the tunnel up that way, and I don't think the tunnel's strayed that far. I'll just give myself a nudge, but I think the tunnel works in that sense. And as I say, I've used the portable constructor as a reference here. And what I want to do now is, obviously you don't want to give the drones a free fire zone, even if you put armored blocks here. So what you want to do now is actually go off to one side, and I've started excavating this side. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go this way now, and I'm just going to cut the primary tunnel with the boring machine, or the highest level. Just going to cut in here. I mean, we're probably deep under the mountain now, so we should be okay. And I say this is going to be my generator room with, and of course we're going to put the core in here as well, which would be really great. So I'm just going to dig this out. Just dig a bit more. And of course the important thing you need to remember is that to maintain the dog leg, so that the opposition doesn't get lines of fire. And of course we're going to take up a bit of height, because obviously we're going to put a roof on this internal base, where we're going to need to make it airtight, because this is a planet that doesn't have oxygen. And of course eventually down the back of here we'll also have our farms. Well, I'm going to probably have a pretty big farm down here, so there's going to be a lot of excavation. In fact, there's a good chance we will actually have multiple levels in this base eventually. And of course once we've got the defences that we don't need to rely on the camper van, we will also have we can then go outside and have buildings outside. In fact, we might even have an outdoor farm, or an outdoor greenhouse type farm. So because, let's say, once we've got cannons mounted up roughly where the camper van is at the moment, this base will be virtually invulnerable from attack, because of course we've also taken out the patrol vessel. In theory, once this room is finished, I shouldn't have any reason to come into this room at all. And you could say almost like my habitat accommodation with the oxygen and fridges will be on this side, and the power constructors, anything else that I need can be put on this side. I think that's probably big enough now for what I want. No, maybe we'll just take this out on this side here a little bit. Yep, I think that's probably enough. What I'm going to need to do now is just go back out, and we're going to need to get the concrete blocks, because I don't want to use these hardened steel blocks for... Oh, this is still building. Okay. Well, we got 237. We're probably going to not have enough anyway. And I think I've got my base kit here. Yeah, my base starter kit's here. And we're just going to come down here. In fact, I don't need to do that. We can fly down. Oops. Put the base starter kit on the here. And what I want to do is like really put the core back here, and just going to use page down to line it up. Effectively what I'm going to do is bury the core into the back wall of this room, so this will be effectively the back wall. So what we're going to do is just, I mean, we can't harm the core, so with the drill. And what we're going to do is just put a block on top like that straight away. And then the next thing we're going to do is get the line for the base back to the front door. And if I've done this properly, famous last words, this should come out not too bad. I think I just want to come out about as far as there. Maybe a smidge more. Let's just get me out of the way. So you can just stand on top of the blocks here. I think I'd like to come out to about there. About there, I think. And like that. Actually, what I could do, and then I think we're just going to come through 3 wide like that. So that gives us an entrance way that's 3 blocks wide. We can have probably our door. Is that 3 blocks wide? Yeah, because that's actually gone into the side of the wall, isn't it? Oh. So let's just cut this back a little bit. Of course, because we've got the blocks now, we've actually technically got a level floor here. I mean, I'll probably go 5 blocks wide so that we've actually got the door. Oh, do I need to? I mean, I could have a single door here. Let's just nick this back a bit. Actually, I think what we're going to do is I think what we're going to do is put a line of blocks down to here like that. That would give me this side of the tunnel. I mean, it's going to be a pretty boring tunnel, but I think having a solid line of blocks here will be best. And of course, what we're going to need to do now is floor in this area here, because this is where we're going to put our main actual. Let's put that there. Hate it when it does that. Sometimes it's actually easier to take the block up. So if we retrieve that block, I think what we're going to do is just dig this out a little bit here. Come back this way a bit. Maybe give a bit more. Oops, it's obviously going through the drill fuel. Just take this out here. And it's going to come across all the way here like that. Actually, I think this actually go in here. That should come into there like that. We should be able to get a line of blocks along this wall here into there. And then what we should be able to do then is just kind of clear out this corner here. And that will give me the front wall of this actual room. And I say what we will probably do is have a door across here, and then maybe another door there, or maybe we can just have the one door here. But obviously going through a vast amount of blocks at the moment. Our core is nice and safe, and I think what we're going to do is actually put another line of blocks across here. Oops. Let's take that one up again, and don't really want that there. Right, so we've got a nice empty machine room here, and I think what we can do now is get some of this stuff in. We probably don't need the weapons, so what we're going to do is get the generator in. Got a couple of fuel tanks, got some oxygen tanks that I'd like to put in here as well. Actually, we've got the large constructor. Let's put the large constructor in first. And what I want to do is then now put in the, wow, that's big. That's do you think that's actually dominating this room a little bit? I mean, that is big. That is absolutely awesome, which is another reason why I want this actually in a separate room on its own, because this produces a lot of heat. So you don't want this in any room that you're going to be walking around in. This is a reason why you want to put it into somewhere where you can actually do it. So we're just going to take this out, guys. We're going to have to obviously have to put a bit more height in order to put a roof on this. Although strictly speaking, we don't actually need a roof on this. Actually, I could just wall this in a way that actually does it, because in some ways what I could do is make the airtight base this way and this way, and we can just have this room as with no air in it. Don't drill this, please. Yeah, well. Okay, it's just a game having a bit of a... Here comes the drones, because I've actually deployed a generator. Even the fact that I haven't actually put any fuel tanks in doesn't seem to bother the game, but that's not a problem. Yeah, I think we're just going to go freestyle here with this. Put the tanks in here, and I think what we can do is put the oxygen tanks in here as well. We've got some large O2 tanks which can go in here as well. I think we're just excavate this bit of the room out here. Maybe we'll just, although this could give them line of sight. Yeah, there's a bit of a line of sight at the moment, so maybe we need to put the O2 tanks on this side. Give a bit of space away from there. Like that. That should seal off and restrict the line of... Yep, that should be okay. And I think because I'll probably be accessing the constructor directly, I think we could probably put the large constructor in here as well, like that. And I think, just for the fun of it, guys, I think we're just going to put some blocks in like that and a block like that. I mean, this is not really strictly necessary, but I want some kind of aesthetic related to this area here. And I think I've got some doors, so we're just going to put a... I think we can drop a door in here. I'm just going to rotate this round. We'll just put a door in there. And we can just block off this top part here like this. Yeah, I mean, the room's going to be a little bit crowded, but it doesn't really make that much difference, to be honest, guys, because, as I say, this room is going to be more of a machine room, and machine rooms are never elegant. If any of you guys work in the engineering industry, or any of you go down the back of any major building, shop or factory, you will always find that the machine room is probably one of the ugliest actual rooms in the building. It's what they say, all the flash and glamour is at the front, and all the hard work and machinery is buried away so nobody can actually see it. And I think that will work as my primary machine room stroke room. As I say, my living accommodation will be over this side. I'm just gonna... I don't know how long it's going to be before the drones show up, but there'll be no problem. I've got every confidence in the camper van to actually take them down. And I think it's just going to come out like that. And I mean, I could put a door in here. I see a flash of red then. I'm sure I saw a flash of red then. Okay, nope. I mean, we could make something looking a little bit more elegant on this side. I think what I am going to do is, oops, no, I'm going to do a little bit of work on this entrance here. Just take this back. I mean, I've got 125 blocks, so it'll be okay, guys. Just going to fill that area in there. I think what we will do is just here. We'll come back and give us a bit of an entranceway. And just take this up so we got some symmetry in this initial entranceway. I'm just going to take this out here like that. I'm just going to bring you back about like that. And we'll just get... Nope. Right, we've got drones coming in. Obviously I'm going to need to not just to make sure. I'm just going to jump in here, and we might as well. I don't want them shooting my ship up, so all right, just going to lick up, back out. Now I am going to take up a fire position that, because I want to see if my actual camper van. Oh, okay. Have they gone? Right, they're still coming in. Ah, looks like the camper van's already done his job. Yep, plasma drone. Obviously I pressed the F6 button by mistake. I actually turned off. Now the first attack is always one drone, but you can see the camper van actually took them out well in advance. They didn't even get close to the base. So having the camper van there in a fire position was perfect. I'm just gonna get back to the base here. Just drop down a bit. And for some reason the game still insists that that block should be there. I think this time we'll just turn the ship round, because there's going to be more of them, so there's no point pretending otherwise. So we might as well be in a position to jump out straight away and engage the enemy. And yeah, that is locked up there. I think at the moment I'm going to just leave this front end open, because I'm not totally sure what I want to do here. I mean, I could actually build the landing pad out, I suppose. I mean, I've got 105 blocks. I mean, at the end of the day, if the drones want to come in and destroy my front and my landing pad, so yeah, I think what we're going to do is just get, well, that's an entrance, so I'll take the cue from that. So we might as well put, okay, well, the game's suggesting that I put an entrance there, so maybe we will have an entrance there. And for the moment I will just put a normal entrance in like that. Now I haven't powered up the base deliberately, because there's no point. Well, I suppose I could put some fuel in it just for the fun of it. It means I won't have to go through these doors, and of course we don't need to go in here. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is put about 43 fuel in, and I can put some oxygen in at the moment. I mean, how much oxygen did that consume? Oh yeah, but of course that means that I can now walk around and without having to worry about actually having to get through these doors. And of course we've got to power the base on, and we're just going to turn the turrets, and got no lights, but I mean eventually I'll put lights in here as well. It means that these were now open and close. So, but in theory the doors themselves shouldn't consume too much power. And I think I'm just aware that I've just noticed the time of the video, so I think what I'm going to do, guys, is another object in the spawn area. That's because the ship is right next to us. I think what I'm going to do is use some of these concrete blocks to work on this front area here. I mean, in truth, we could probably even use wood inside the base, because everything should now be protected by layers of rock, which is what I want in here. So I think what we're going to do is just give ourselves a bit of a frontage, and it will also allow me to work out how things are actually orientated. Okay, I messed that up completely. I mean I'll probably actually put a brick frontage on the front here or something like that. Well, I mean, we'll get down to texturing once I've got the main. To be honest, I'm not very good at texturing as I go. I actually prefer to actually do things. Actually, let's just... Now, I normally prefer to actually texture once I've actually got the main structure in the way. Right, I think we'll just pick that up. I need to pick this up as well. So, I'm just going to Shift F that. And we should be able to... My ship's in the way now. Great. Okay, ship. Thrusters on. I'm just gonna... I think we can just maybe park a little bit in front for the moment. Temporarily. Thrusters off. And we're just going to... I'm not sure how far over, so I'm not going to go onto the wings of it at the moment. I think we're just going to come out here until I run out. And we're just going to come across here like that. Fine. I probably will take out this corner, but this will give me an area to land my ship on. That can come out here. So you get the idea now, guys, in the sense of the platform will come out here, and hopefully we'll build a bit of a ramp up this side for hover vehicles to come in. So we will probably... And eventually this might turn into a hangar deck, so we may cut this back and cut it up so we actually have a proper hangar deck here. But I do want to have an area big enough for a capital vessel to land so that we can try out that repair functionality. Of course, it's my ship back wing is actually in it. I think what I'm going to do is... I think I can bring my ship up now and actually park it on this area here, which is what it's built for. So we're just going to jump into here and thrusters on, put the lights on so we might actually see what we're doing. And third person, level off. And I think we're just going to into here, just drop down a little smidge. Thrusters off. Back. And I think just we can finish off this corner because now I've got the ship in position. Got a better idea of the width I need. I'm just gonna come. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a trait of building, but people always seem. I always notice that you end up talking to the game a little bit once you're actually building things. And got 27 blocks, so I think we could probably add a line of blocks across the front here like that. Maybe one more. And this is going to start getting structural integrity, so we're going to need to support these blocks down here. Come on. Yep, that should. You're entrenched into the rock, so you're okay. And I think maybe we can come out here a little bit like that. I think I'm quite happy with this side. It may be because maybe we'll excavate this way a little bit and maybe just tidy this corner up a little bit. And I'm just going to come up here. 10 blocks left. I think you can just do that. We can leave a gap underneath. So we've now got a landing base for our ship. Sorry guys, apologies. This is annoying me a little bit. So I think what we're going to do is just take this back a little bit. And of course now I don't need to worry too much about the level, so I can actually use this to get the crushed stone, because I've now got the level from the actual concrete blocks, so I can just work around here. And we're just gonna use up the last of these blocks here. Right, what I want to do is just drop that block in there. I've run out of blocks. Okay, I need more concrete blocks. Yep, just want to finish this corner off. Wow, okay. I've completely lost track of time and I'm desperate for oxygen, so we're just gonna, wow, my oxygen's incredibly low. Oh, that was nearly a mistake there, guys. And here comes the drones again. And this time we'll see if we can actually do it. And I think we're just going to wait for the drone attack to come in. And that's where I'm going to call it for this part, guys. Here they come. Wow, he's coming in very high. Okay, let's power this on. Thrusters on. Right, we've already got that one. Well, I'm not firing, so that is my camper van actually doing that. So, yep, the camper van is definitely doing the honours, which is great. I just need to make sure that he's fully topped up with ammunition. Now this is one of the new actual features of the game actually. These actually take a long time to actually crash, but we're going to be okay, guys. So just going to come in here. Of course we're going to go down and loot the drones. This is a base bomber drone, which it didn't do him any good, because we still managed to kill him. And where's the other drone? I've got lights on. It's a bit dark, that's the problem. And I'm in the water now. Okay, out of the water please. Where's the other drone gone? Just have to make sure that the camper van's got plenty of ammunition so that he can actually do the honours. Right guys, I'm back on the base. I think this is where I'm going to call it for the video. What I will do off camera is actually work a little bit on the internal room here, and eventually we will change this, but I think what we're going to have back here is a room where we're going to have the constructor fridges and the cloning stuff, everything that I will want to access directly, and then maybe further back on another room here. So maybe I'll create a dog leg here, excavate out this way a little bit, and then, as I say, and then we will have a farm back down here as well. And then eventually we will power the base up completely, because at the moment there's not much point in actually doing it. But this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.